I have unfortunately added that up. And that's lesson number one with an airplane or a project is you never do the math. And I violated that. I'm into this thing for right at 350 grand. Once the miracle of the motorhome was there, which by the way, that was the funnest and best day of my life, is un-RVing the RV, because we got to do all the things that YouTube censors with firearms and explosives and heavy equipment and just really purposefulness, destruction. It was fantastic. Well, we got the motorhome chassis back to the jet. Then we had to figure out how we were going to attach it, this round tube, to this square chassis. I looked at the nose gear that the airplane already had. That was the strongest point, and it just happened to be right over a section of it. And I thought, well, why can't we just undo the nose gear, bolt up a chunk of metal to the bottom, and just bolt it to the top of the frame? So we measured it. That's exactly what we did. And in the back, where the wing spars go across, there's 5 big I-beams that hold the entire wing structure and the weight of the airplane. We literally just drilled through those and then took a piece of metal to make it level with the front and just bolted it down to the chassis. So for all intents and purposes, it actually just drilled and bolted right down onto the top of it. We just had to get it square and then put the bolts in it, and that was it, really. It was surprisingly simple how simple it was to mount this airplane to a RV chassis. It also helped that it was a motorhome chassis, so it was totally flat all the way, the whole length of the thing. Whenever we had it on there, it kind of looked funny. It looked like a lollipop if you looked at it straight on, where it's a big round thing and then there's like a little tiny frame that it was sitting on. The goal with that was to make it look like it was flying down the road. So we went to a metal shop. This old hot rodder guy, Dean, he just is he's a rock star. And in my true opinion, he is the guy that made the entire build. His team spent about 2 months working on this thing nonstop every single day. And we skirted it. We made this reflective stainless steel that goes all the way across and then all the way down from front to back. And then in the front and back, he kind of created it to swoop it up a little bit, to blend it in so it aesthetically looks better on the airplane. And it, sure enough, it does. It looks like it's just flying on the road. The paint on it is a vinyl wrap. We knew that we weren't going to have enough time to paint it, and with all the expense and everything along with that. So we had a guy that done the vinyl stuff with my airplanes and everything else. He came over, he and another guy, and spent 5 days, and they were able to recreate the exact color match and striping and everything of whenever it was painted that way back in the whatever 70s or whenever it was. I have unfortunately added that up. And that's lesson number one with an airplane or a project is you never do the math. And I violated that. I'm into this thing for right at 350 grand. Now, I will say with those tags, those, Elvis memorabilia pieces that we're selling of the airplane, I have to sell 1,000 of them to break even, and we've already sold 500 of them. So we're halfway there for basically 1 year of being alive and with this thing going. From a business point, if you can break even or get half of your investment back in a year, that's a pretty good investment. We have only made one thing from it. They're just an oval piece of the wing that's etched with Jetstar, and it says owned by Elvis Presley. They're all serial numbered, serial numbers 1 through 2167, because that's the most of them that we could make that still look kind of okay. The very first one, we found out that Elvis's favorite charity was St. Jude Children's Hospital. So we donated the number 00001. We donated that one to St. Jude, and they auctioned it off and sold it for, I think, $6,000. So all that went to that. And then when we just got back from our first trip up to Oshkosh, which there was almost 700,000 people at this air show. It's the world's biggest air show. And we raised $20,000 for Wings of Compassion, the nonprofit, because we were charging people $10 to go in and tour it, to see the inside and this interior of this thing is just mind-blowing. And all that money was raised for Wings of Compassion. What's it like to drive? It takes some getting used to. We put cameras all the way around it, so it's got 4 cameras on all the sides. We also have the mirrors, which kind of sort of help a little bit. They give you the illusion of helping, I think. The visibility is less than a car or a motorhome, but it's not too bad. I highly recommend having 2 people This airplane was never rated for single pilot operation. You always must have a co-pilot. And that is for a potential blind spot over there on this front right corner. So that's the only spot we can't see really good with cameras or mirrors or anything. But otherwise, honestly, it's not bad. We cruise here the entire way at 70 miles an hour. And it still gets like 11.5 miles to the gallon because it's more pointy than when it was a motorhome, so that helps. The original motorhome had a dry weight of 21,000 and some change and a gross weight of 27. So my estimate is it probably was somewhere around 24,000 pounds with fuel and people and water and all the stuff in it. We went across the scale, full tank of gas, and he and I on the scale, 22,200 pounds. So it's a smidge lighter than it was as a motorhome and a lot more aerodynamic.
Excuse me, can I get 3 chocolate milkshakes? What? What? You don't have ice cream? I'm at McDonald's and the milkshake thing is gone broken? Oh.
The only thing I've ever thought about is it needs to live on so that as many people as possible can experience it. So if I ever did sell it, I would never sell it to somebody that just had a museum and would park it inside a museum. The person, or if I ever did sell it or lease it or partner with somebody, I think the best life for this would be to take people up and down the Las Vegas Strip. So have 9 people come in, pay your $50 or whatever, have a little Elvis impersonator guy do a little tour up the strip, turn around, come back, those people get off, the next people get on, and just do it again. And that thing would print money. Day after day after day, it would just print money. I do not want that life though, so I'm not gonna be the guy that does that. But if there's somebody out there that is trustworthy and has a lot of experience doing this, maybe we can work out a deal after I have some fun with it.
This month of VINwiki Car Stories is brought to you by Bridgestone. We've talked a lot this year about the Potenza range of tires for sports cars and supercars, but what I'm personally most excited about right now is the Dueler AT Ascent. It is their latest and greatest tire for on-road and off-road capability. I've tried so many tires for my off-road kinds, but this really seems like it's going to be perfect. It's got full-depth interlocking 3D sipes and it is their latest and greatest product, so it should give me all the off-road capability and wet and snow and everything else that I want to put it through, as well as much better road manners. So check them out as well as the whole range of Bridgestone products to find out what's perfect for your ride at the link in the description below, and look forward to more amazing content on VINwiki from Bridgestone.